Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastic. So, on today's Wellness Wednesday, we are going to talk about car wrecks, concussions, and hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So, I am in our hyperbaric chamber room, or our wellness room. There we have the good old massive LED panel there, the vibration plate right behind me. And we have, if I can get it turned here, here is the big old hyperbaric chamber. So I'm going to get this flipped back around here real quick. So being chiropractors, obviously the number one thing that we saw come out of, I'm actually going to take a seat over here, come out of car wrecks were whiplash injuries. And now the more modern research is showing you don't get whiplash or multiple ligament injuries without also receiving a concussion. So necessity is the mother of invention, which eventually led us down this road to getting the hyperbaric chamber. But I wanted to talk about this because it's something we see a lot. And I talked in a video not too long ago about lower pressure versus higher pressure. So lower pressure with this tank, because it is an absolute unit, top of the line. Lower pressure when we talk about this is 1.3 atmospheres or 1.5 atmospheres. And I'm going to show you guys here the gauges real quick. So abbreviated ATA. And then when we're talking things of nature higher, 1.75 up to 2.2 atmospheres. Let me get this oxygen sensor out of the way here. I'll just set it in the tank. Now, you'll see behind me, there's another gauge. It measures M-bar or PSI. So when we're talking about 1.3 atmospheres, we're looking about 4.5 PSI. When you go here, 1.5, you're looking about 8 PSI. So quite a bit of change, almost double the pressure. And a lot of times people don't appreciate that. And then when you go up to 1.75, you're about 12. When you go up to 2, you're around 17, and so on and so forth. But as far as talking about acute injuries or acute concussions, so relatively new ones, we are going to, at first, want to start at, well, one, to make sure that people can actually handle the treatment, start at a lower pressure. But when we're talking things are relatively acute in the brain, we want to start at a lower pressure at brain and spinal cord. Same goes for musculoskeletal system too. The lower pressures, we get a vasodilation response and helps remove a lot of that acute inflammation. And if you've ever had a concussion or you know someone that has had a concussion, the effects of hypoxia and inflammation on the brain can be rather intense. They can have a hard time speaking, stuttering, stumbling, just go blank when you're talking to them. Those lower pressures really help get the inflammation off the brain, and it just helps reduce things. Same as like with a TBI, you get what's called a penumbra, and it just helps reduce the size of that. Also helps moderate mitochondrial disorders and stimulates neuroplasticity, which I believe I addressed that in the methylene blue video as well. So that gets into stacking, where we would talk about possibly supplementing with methylene blue using the red light panel right there, and then getting into the hyperbaric chamber to help increase the positive effects. So the big thing that we see in concussion is that it helps promote cognitive function. One of the ways we measure that is we have a software analysis system. It's called Right Eye, and it tracks your eye movement disorders. Then there are cognitive assessments, which is a pen and paper thing. It's called the King to Vic. Back to right eye. We can use it to help assess motor skills and reaction time. It will help alleviate spasticity in the big thing being chiropractors is the paraspinal musculature, but even out from there. We also measure balance and walking using another piece of technology called KinetiSense. And it's just super, super cool. And people that have used it, acute post-concussion, are super, super thankful. And they can actually, multiple of them have articulated back to us that they can actually feel like the building effect of each treatment. So super wicked awesome tool that we have all to help you guys get better, quicker, and get back to doing what you love. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to drop them in the video below, and I will answer them as soon as I see them. Have a great day, P.L.L.C. See ya.